So up next week, as we draw closer to the general election, Dr. Mamadou Bawumia has started outreach efforts to engage the youth across 16 regions addressing economic growth and development. But are these efforts resonating with the young voters? Ibrahim, I'm going to start with you. So obviously, he started engaging with the youths yesterday, and the whole aim is to connect with young voters. What are some of the core issues that you think he discussed or will still be discussing with the youth around the 16 regions?
Okay, thank you, Chris. One of the core issues that Dr. Bawumia mentioned yesterday at Bawumia was incentivizing the youth first and foremost to know that this is a nation of possibilities. And he talks about the youth not just creating jobs, but having that environment in which to actually take charge of their own futures. He mentioned how the youth often say that politicians are all the same. So there's that apathy. He's giving them that promise that, yes, he's vice president, but he's never been president, which is an accolade John Dramani has. And we've seen him, tried him, and tested him. I'm talking John Mahama, and he's failed woefully for the youth. During their time, Rashid Pelpo, Honorable Rashid Pelpo, Member of Parliament, NDC Member of Parliament for WA Central, he said, when asked on a show just like this from a sister station, what are his policies for the youth in the north? He said, oh, they should just gather stones, yes, and rocks. Google it now, you see it. Everybody was flapping. This is the whole minister.
Are you sure you're not taking out of context?
Dabi, I'm coming.
You're not taking it out
Maybe
of
you'll
context.
explain.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming. He was a minister under John Dramani Mahama. If that's the minister, and they're in cabinet, and this is what they discuss.
No, you have different portfolios.
I'm coming.
Different portfolios under Mahama. So minister of which
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Let's not somehow divorce the leadership from his ministers. You select ministers who are competent, who have your vision and can share your vision and broadcast it. That was what he said we should do as youth, 2015, 2016. Rashid Pelpo, Google, and you see it. Go and gather stones and rocks and sell them by the wayside. Okay. That's what he said. And now I'm coming to why it's relevant to what I'm saying. So you see that John Dramani Mahama lacks both the human resource personnel and indeed the vision. What is the vision of Dr. Mamadou Bawumia? He's saying, look, Ghanaian youth, take charge. I promise to deliver on my promise. And what's that? To create first and foremost the foundation for you to achieve and excel, not as jobs, but also careers. You know you can create jobs, Chris, but if you create career paths, that is the real nirvana. That is when you're really, you're helping somebody to create I can give you 1,000 jobs in picking mushrooms. Am I right? Yes, I've created 1,000 jobs. But when I give you a career in agro-processing, because what you have in terms of the digitalization aspect of it, you're having now making sure that free SHS and TVET are being secured, ring-fenced, making sure that you create that human resource space. I'm talking the intelligence to now go into the marketplace as either your own entrepreneur or now you have the skills to work for any other institution. So you're having a leader, Dr. Mamadou Bawumia, saying, look, let's create the foundation. Make sure that even people, no, I shouldn't say even, people with disabilities are not left out. At tertiary level, you can access education for free. So there's your foundation. Now, what's the nuts and bolts? We're creating, within that ecosystem, making sure that the youth can engage within these programs. Agric is indeed our oil. I'm talking agriculture. When I say oil, that's our largest employer. So you're making sure that agricultural mechanization centers across every district are being employed and properly resourced. Similarly, the private sector are now being engaged to do what? To build homes for either lease to government or for sale to government. Because when government wants to build its own infrastructure, it takes a lot of capital out of the economy. So Dr. Mamadou Bawumia is saying, look, I'm going to engage the private sector. You can actually build it, so you know how to do it efficiently, on time, and cost effectively. Then we government can rent, lease from you, or then buy from you outright. can you imagine now if you unleash that energy, which is what Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is doing, the jobs just in the infrastructure alone. So now the youth don't have to wait for government to find money. Already when these DevTraco and other real estate entrepreneurs, companies, start building on behalf of government, i.e. government becomes their client, you have a large influx of youth being employed in that particular sector there. Again, creating a national robotics and engineering and AI laboratory. You're having Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia thinking 10, 20 years ahead of his particular tenure. That's what you want, a leader who thinks 2 or 3 generations deep. For us to compete with Nigeria, who are making sways in that area, Kenya, South Africa, Egypt, Senegal, let's prepare our youth so that they are also artificially intelligent, compliant, that they can code properly and make sure that blockchain is part of their vernacular, making sure that the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrencies is something that we learn there at our tertiary level and indeed the secondary level. So when you're having a robotics, engineering and AI laboratory, it tells you about the vision of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia that we want to do. The job creation, if I can just quote on this, it's not just an economic agenda, it's a call for the youth to actually, as I say, to repeat myself, take charge of their lives. And what we're actually doing is making sure that the end result, because now you want figures, what is he proposing? You have 1 million youth trained in IT, but in terms of the overall job creation, the pool we're targeting is 4 million jobs. Okay. For example, creating or rather finishing just the agenda 111 would create employment for 72,000, just that project alone, health personnel. And Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is trying to make sure that he can engage with the youth in the sense that they are the ones who are going to drive this economy. And so that's the vision that we have, to making sure that the youth are properly respected. You create the ecosystem, the environment for them to add their intellect. But before you can add intellect, create the foundation so that we secure free SHS, which the NDC, I've said is 419. When they come, they'll remove it. Tertiary education, it's layer upon layer of investment in the youth and indeed Ghana's future. That's why the youth, you saw them at Bawumia, they're clamoring for Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia to be the next president of Ghana and the future of Ghana's economic development.
Wow, you keep stressing on the future. So, Victor, I'm just going to go straight to you. With the MPP focusing on youth engagement, how is the NDC also reaching out to this critical demographic, and what are some of the key policies? Critical because the youth make a greater part of the country, and it's important to have, the youth voting.
If you've been watching the community engagement and the rallies, when the next president, His Excellency John Mahani, has been going around, the youth forms the majority.
Yes.
They stand in this scorching sun. Why would they stand in this scorching sun? Because they see His Excellency John Mahani as their savior. Why do I say that? Because they believe, and they believe that they were hoodwinked. They were hoodwinked to believe that the NPP government was going to do for 7 to 8 years. It is now that you say you are engaging the youth when you have deceived them, when they've been lied to. What happened to NAPCO? You said we were creating NAPCO. NAPCO was a route through which people will go into the nursing, they will go to revenue generation, they will go to all. What has happened to NAPCO?
It's working.
What has happened? Till date, people are owed. They've not even been paid. You could not engage them as youth at that time. Yesterday, you said, oh, now you have woken up from your slumber and say that I'm engaging the youth. What happened to training of the youth in all the... You see, NDC said that we were going to have the National Apprenticeship Program. And this is divided into stratas. People will go into apprenticeship. Any job you want to do, your trainer or the master will take care of you and be paid. It has also made progress also for people who want to go to school, right? The schools that we want to go to, especially the stress-free payment when you want to go to the first year. For those who are in school, the mainstream school, it has made that. Under you, unemployment and the youth is over 14%. 14%. There had been no government under which unemployment, and how many people fall the bulk of the unemployment station? It's the youth. It's the youth. Now, you see, it is like creating institutions and so we are creating jobs, we are bringing the youth into them. Look at the TVET they are talking about, that TVET, as if it's something new. TVET is just that the technical and vocational education that has been hived off from Ghana Education Service, and it has been made a service on its own. That's all. So when you are always talking, look at the students' allowances, the teacher training colleges. They owe them allowances. The nurses, they owe them allowances. This is what they said. Teachers were suffering, nurses were suffering, you were bringing them allowances. So today, all of a sudden, you've woken up and you said, so once he was going around, engaging the people, he never engaged the youth. He never thought of the youth. And now he says that he comes and say the youth should take their destiny into their hand. Look, everybody knows, even from the basic unit as a family, your parents tell you that you can do it. Take your destiny into your hands. It's not that now that somebody has woken up from his slumber and come and says that the youth are the most important component of my campaign, and the youth. When you have deceived them in all this, they are seeing it. So you reap the benefit of the deceit. And now you want to cajole them and believe that no. The youth have woken up, and that's why you see the activism of the youth now, the demonstration. Well, if the youth were satisfied, the youth were happy, they won't go on demonstration. If the youth were okay, they were working, I don't see we would see the numbers of unemployment soaring. We feel it. We have brothers, sisters who have finished university, has finished training college, has finished nursing training. They can't even post them. They have no job. Some 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, they still stay in their house. That is why we are looking at, look, this is a tickling bomb. What do we do and make sure the youth, we can get them job? And we are looking at it, that the national apprentice job, we have to get into agriculture. That's why you put students together, you put youth together. So when you look at the national apprenticeship, I think we will have time so that I come and explain this national apprenticeship program, how it will affect the youth, how it will expand the economy, and we want everybody to have his own vocation. It's just the same thing they are saying, take your destiny to your, have your own vocation. If you want to go to school, that is it. Look at what is happening at even the National Scholarship Secretariat. If you are a youth and you are not connected to any politician, you don't know anybody, you live in a village like Akum in Akan, how will you be able to access that? How will you be able? It should be something that everybody, for everybody, every citizen. And now you are telling the same youth who were looking for opportunities, haven't gotten the opportunity, and at the tail end of you leaving office, you say you have to. So why didn't you do it when you were in the office? But when you come and say, when you vote for me, then I'll do this for you. You vote for me, I'll do. Why? You have the power.
We're actually
you have the power. You couldn't do it.
Chris, give me a minute.
We're out of time right now.
So what you need to do, you see, whenever I speak, and I'm not in any way disparaging your submission, come correctly. You mentioned about the nurses. Over 24,000 have been posted. How many were posted on yours? You and your governor rather said, hold on. You said, no, Alawa, I won't pay you today, I won't pay you tomorrow. Meboa, I don't Male. So I'm coming. The NAPCO, over the figure I have is 18,000. I think it's more than that. Have been retained out of the 100,000. Remember, you had the Unemployed Graduate Association under NDC. Let that sink in for a second. Unemployed Graduate Association, because the youth was so demoralized with the failed leadership of John Dramani Mahama. You had a whole association, you see, like NAGRATS. Do you get me?
Look, that association was formed by
youth.
Who are the leaders? The youth of those unemployment.
When you were talking, Chris showed you the youth today. You said that it's only John Mahama that has the youth. You saw the montage. Teeming numbers of youth. Because what? When planted for food and jobs, youth are engaged. Are you with me? The One District, One Factory, over 179 completed. It's a private sector, engaging the youth in industry and agriculture. You did zero. That's why I referred you to Rashid Purple. When asked, a whole minister on the NDC, what can you do for the youth? Gather straw. Go and gather stones and grass and sell them. That is your. You are the people who say we won't pay allowance. Don't come and tell us about the nurses.
Assuming what you're saying is
it's
true.
true. It's not
assuming what you're saying is true. What have we seen? What have we seen?
You're
the youth
seeing real
have
growth
they been
within the
deceived or they will speak.
They have been delivered.
On the 7th,
you know it.
They will speak.
You know it.
I'm telling you.
I'm sure the youth is watching right now,
Yes.
and they will decide on December 7th. But anyway, I want to say a very big thank you to each and every one of you that joined us, the viewers. Ibrahim Ejay, Assistant Secretary at the Office of the President, and Victor Kwajoga Adawudu, member of the NDC Legal and Communication team. And a very big thank you to the viewers that sent in their messages. And as we head closer to the election season, remember that you should stay informed and participate in all discourse, and remember to contribute peacefully in constructive electoral process. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the News Review segment.